No one is safe from Xbox's latest move. How would you rate these Xbox summer accessories? These documents reveal Xbox's true intentions. Let's discuss. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Xbox Ready, the YouTube channel that is all about Xbox. I have links below the video if anyone's trying to buy any new Xbox stuff, and I'm trying to post more to Instagram and Threads, so I'd appreciate a follow there. I'm at State of Ray. Now today I woke up to an email from my friends at Xbox talking about a new feature that is rolling out to the Xbox insiders that's being referred to as reactive voice reporting. This is the latest Xbox move in regards to player safety. They're trying to make sure that everyone who plays games online has a cool, chill time and that they come back for more. This will basically give you the option to record someone that is, I don't know, banshee screaming into their microphone or talking way too crazy, and use that when you report the player to Xbox if you think they're violating community guidelines. The recording can be up to 60 seconds long, and it's going to be separate from your normal game captures. It's just used for reporting people, so you can't move it to your Xbox mobile app, you can't upload it to other platforms, you can't save it to your personal camera roll. In fact, once you submit the report, the game clip that you recorded, the voice recording, will be deleted from your console entirely. And you're not tied to making the report right away. If you record the game clip, if you record the voice clip, you can wait until you're done playing and then file the report. I don't have the right insider build to see how this actually works, but I reached out to my friends at Microsoft for clarification, and this is what they had to say. In-game, you'll hit the Xbox button to launch the guide, then in parties and chats, you'd click the report in-game voice chat button, and you can save the clip. Then you can look in review saved clips and report it later after you're done playing if you choose to. Big shout out to my friends at Xbox, to Team Xbox, for clearing that up. Microsoft will hold on to that clip for 90 days if they don't find anything wrong with it, if it doesn't violate any community guidelines, and 366 days if they do find it violates their rules. Xbox also wants you to know that it's not permanently listening in to everything that is being uttered into your microphone. Just these recordings, but I guess that's more of like a trust me bro, I'm not listening sort of thing. We can never know for sure. All I know is that Microsoft is about to get a flood of just the craziest voice recordings ever. Whoever's in charge of listening to these and moderating them, I do not envy them at all. Although it could be perfect timing now that it seems more and more that Microsoft, they're going to be the stewards of Call of Duty, and we know there is some crazy stuff being said in Call of Duty lobbies. Now, whenever I talk about this stuff, player moderation, player safety, there's always a camp of people that shows up that are like, oh man, this is so stupid, like these kids, they're too sensitive, they would never last in the old school Call of Duty 360 lobbies, they would be eaten alive. And I gotta say, guys, it's like, dude, I was there, man. I was there back in the day on my 360, on Xbox Live, in Call of Duty, in the OG Modern Warfare, and Halo 2, 3, and Reach. And my personal opinion is that things have changed. Back in the day, it was like, yes, there was trash talking, there was trolling, there was people talking about each other's moms, there was name calling, there was all sorts of stuff. But in my opinion, it's morphed into an entirely different thing. I think people have spent too long enjoying anonymity on the internet, being like, I can say whatever I want and no one will know it's me. My usual strategy is just to like mute someone who I find is annoying. But most of the time I have pretty good experiences online if I'm in a game chat or a lobby, but not all the time, right? And y'all know what I'm talking about. There is an acceptable degree of trash talking, trolling, whatever. But there are people out there that are taking it way too far, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Just saying like grade A heinous things that I can't repeat on the channel or else they'll demonetize my whole thing. Theoretically, I like this move because it gives us a layer of specificity when we're reporting players like, hey, this person was talking crazy, it was affecting my enjoyment and everyone else's enjoyment of the game. Here is a specific example of that. Do with it what you will. Not just like, oh, this person was being mean to me, like a he said, she said kind of thing. And honestly, you really have nothing to worry about if you are a normal person online trying to enjoy video games. If you're one of those who loves raging and going crazy, you may have something to worry about if this feature rolls out. And even if you don't agree with this, you don't like the move, you don't agree with what I'm saying, you gotta think of it from a company perspective. No company, whether it be Xbox or any other tech tech platform wants to be associated with some of the crazy things that are being said using their in-game communication. On top of that, you have to consider that there are kids on the platform. And I know it's not my responsibility to censor myself just because your kid decided to pick up a rated M game and play it, but people are very sensitive about kids, man. Like, the last thing that Xbox wants is to get a lawsuit against a group of angry parents being like, you exposed them to harmful ideologies and like crazy language, it's all your fault and you did nothing. So yeah, I know a lot of people are gonna dislike this move, but I think it gives us as a community an important tool to use if we encounter anything super crazy. Again, it is a very small percentage of gaming interactions, at least for me. But just because it doesn't happen every day to me, just because it's a small percentage of my daily online multiplayer interactions, doesn't mean it isn't a problem and doesn't mean that we should just ignore it. I'd say 90% of the people I meet online through games are amazing. They're so cool, especially all the times I've gotten to play with you guys out there, whether I jump in on your games or your parties or you jump into mine. But there are people out there who are a problem, and honestly, I think that's a shame. I think we should all be a little bit more chill when we interact with each other online, in-game, wherever. And also keep in mind, this is not an official feature that is rolling out to all Xbox consoles. It is being tested in the Insider program as of now. But more than likely by the end of this year, it'll be rolling out to all Xbox consoles officially. For anyone looking to pick up some new, cool accessories, Xbox just rolled out a whole summer lineup of new controllers, headsets, and other things. Basically, everything that is included in this collection is colorful and shiny. We're getting some new Hyperkin Xenon controllers, one Cosmic Black and one Twilight Galaxy. These controllers, if you haven't heard of them, are the throwback 360 controllers that are compatible with your modern Xbox console. It even has a share button in the middle. They do have some other controllers in this collection as well. The Power A Advantage is getting a color that's just called Sparkle. And there's some new versions of the PDP Xbox wired controller, Frosted Diamond, and Australian Opal. I don't know how to pronounce these headsets, but they look really cool. They're called the Audeze Maxwell Ultraviolet Edition wireless gaming headset. First of all, that's a long game. Second of all, I don't know how to pronounce Audeze, I'm not sure. It's not my personal thing, but this is something I feel like my wife would really like. This easily looks like something that would go really well on someone's stream. I was also surprised to see the new WD SSD on here, except instead of being black, it is kind of like a creamsicle sunset type of color. It's the 1 terabyte version of the card, and it's being listed at a price of $130. Pretty much all of these are available to buy, except for the Hyperkin controllers. Those are going to be coming out on July 24th. And the headset, that's not out yet. That's going to be coming out August 15th. Now, one of the more exciting things about this whole Activision Blizzard acquisition, if it goes through for Xbox fans, is the prospect of getting Activision Blizzard IP on Game Pass. Oh, no longer will we have to pay full price for the new Call of Duty, which apparently is going to be coming out bi-yearly in the next couple of years. Instead, I can play it on Game Pass. And I know with this most recent Microsoft victory over the FTC in regards to this acquisition, a lot of people are out there thinking, oh boy, like the deal is done pretty much. We're going to be getting all sorts of stuff on Game Pass. It's going to be wild. And sure, stuff like that has happened before. I know that when Microsoft acquired ZeniMax Media, there was a lot of Bethesda stuff that came to Game Pass before the deal was closed. But for anyone hoping that there's going to be any Activision Blizzard games coming on over to Game Pass, Tom Warren, who writes for The Verge, posted a sobering reminder on his Twitter. He simply said, if you're wondering when new Call of Duty games arrive on Xbox Game Pass, if the Activision Blizzard deal goes ahead, the CMA previously revealed it's not until 2025. This specific document that he's referring to in this tweet goes back to the CMA hearing and investigation that happened back in April, which resulted in the CMA blocking this deal for Microsoft. Now, 2025, obviously that seems like a pretty long time to wait. Obviously, there are some things that can change between now and when this deal officially closes. But honestly, that seems reasonable to expect like the newest, the latest Call of Duty titles. And I'm also wondering if Sony has like some sort of deal. I know they don't have exclusivity with the game, but they do have marketing rights, and I'm pretty sure they have some sort of deal worked out where it's like they get extra loadouts and maps and content on Call of Duty on PlayStation versus other platforms. So I wonder if any of those deals, any of those contracts, prevent Call of Duty from going to rival subscription services like Game Pass. But I know a lot of you out there, y'all don't even care about Call of Duty. There's some people in the comments for these posts and the replies being like, Call of Duty, who cares? I want Diablo on Game Pass. Let's get Diablo on Game Pass, man. Now, I don't know how likely that is because people from Blizzard are saying, no, we are not putting Diablo 4 onto Game Pass. Get over it. Of course, that could change if Microsoft owns Blizzard outright and is just like, yo, you're putting that stuff on Game Pass. Let's go. But as of right now, we may be waiting a while for any of that. But in terms of Diablo 4, that might work out for them. Yes, it just released. There's a lot of people playing Diablo 4, but that game is going to be built around season. So there could be an opportunity for Xbox, for Microsoft to be like, oh, hell yeah, there's a new season in Diablo 4, there's a new class, let's go ahead and put it on Game Pass to coincide with that new season's launch. But for now, fans of Call of Duty, Diablo, or any other title that falls under the Activision Blizzard umbrella are just gonna have to wait and see. Now, as we all know, a huge point of contention for the opposition of this Activision Blizzard deal was if Microsoft was going to make everything exclusive to their platform. Specifically, were they going to buy up Activision and be like, okay, Call of Duty is an Xbox exclusive. Boo. Everyone, if you want to play Call of Duty, you're going to have to buy an Xbox or a PC, or you're going to have to play through cloud gaming. I don't know. This was a big part of the argument that the FTC brought in court, and Sony was over there being like, yeah, they're going to make it exclusive. They are going to like intentionally give us buggy ports of the game. But just because you say it so does not make it true. This whole time, this whole process, Xbox leadership has been like, we have no interest in making Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox. That would be dumb. But people were still questioning it. Xbox committed so hard to the stance that the FTC and their lawyers, combing through over 1 million documents, couldn't find anything connecting Xbox leadership wanting to make Call of Duty exclusive to their platform. According to the judge's ruling, they said there are no internal documents, emails, or chats contradicting Microsoft's stated intent not to make Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox consoles, despite the completion of extensive discovery in the FTC administrative proceeding, including production of nearly 1 million documents and 30 dispositions. The FTC has not identified a single document which contradicts Microsoft's publicly stated commitment to make Call of Duty available on PlayStation and Nintendo Switch. So can we finally put this to rest, guys? Can we finally put this to rest? I know, like, when this deal first broke, a lot of us were thinking that, oh, is Call of Duty gonna be Xbox exclusive? But very quickly, Xbox was like, no, guys, no. We want the money. We want the money that it will continue to generate on PlayStation consoles and maybe even beyond. So hopefully for anyone who's still out there worrying like, oh, in 10 years, after this 10-year commitment is through, will Xbox just pull support and make it exclusive to their consoles? I don't think so. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't even seem like they're even casually discussing it. With all this Activision Blizzard news being thrown around, you may have forgotten that Xbox actually had a little mini showcase this week. The ID at Xbox Showcase was this past Tuesday on July 11th, and it pretty much had no chance of gaining any traction or gaining any noise, because that was the same day that a judge ruled in favor of Microsoft in their case versus the FTC. I did end up tuning into the showcase. I will say, I wasn't a huge fan of the format for this show. It was like half showcase-y, sort of, or like partially showcase-y. They had trailers and stuff, but it was a lot of like watching people play the demos for this game. It was like a let's play stream. And I was like, I see what they're kind of going for here, kind of like a more casual, like, hey, here's the game, check it out for yourself through the eyes of these people playing it. And I feel like everyone did a fine job, but the actual format of the show was like, I'm not super crazy about it. But there was really cool stuff being shown off, and I just wanted to share my key takeaways from it. First of all, Myth Force looks really, really cool. I'm really digging the old school 80s 80s, Dragon's Lair, fantasy vibes. According to their own website, MythForce is inspired by beloved Saturday morning cartoons. MythForce unites swords and sorcery with gripping first-person combat in a new roguelike adventure. Brave the dungeon alone or join forces with friends to take over an ever-changing castle of evil. I grew up playing a lot of Gauntlet, specifically the arcade version that they had in the early 2000s. I used to go to Fuddruckers and play it all the time. And then eventually that came to consoles and it was just like game over for me. Obviously the first-person nature of MythForce is a little bit different from Gauntlet, but it kind of gives me those same vibes. Team up with friends, go and kill skeletons and monsters and dragons. One of you will be a rogue, one of you will be a wizard, one of you will be like a Valkyrie warrior. I'm into it. I'm really looking forward to this game. We also saw another look at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre ahead of its Game Pass debut. It's from the same people who made the Friday the 13th game, so it's looking to be a mix between that game and Dead by Daylight. The trailer for this was pretty crazy. I was not expecting it to be as gory as it was. I don't know what I was expecting from a Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, but I guess I just wasn't expecting them to show everything. We also got another look at Hellboy Web of Weird. This is something I've had my eye on since it was shown off at the Game Awards. I know when it comes to art styles like this, people seem to be pretty split on it. There's people like, I'm not into this at all, and then there are some people who are like, yes, that is right up my alley, that's my cup of tea, give it to me. Web of Weird tells an original story written by Hellboy creator Mike Mignola in the format of a roguelike action-adventure brawler. I'm really excited to check this out, and I highly recommend that you guys do too. This is one of the last roles that we're going to hear Lance Reddick's voice in. He plays Hellboy, so if you're a fan of Lance Reddick, if you miss him very dearly, you should play this game. I'm interested in Everspace 2 as well. Experience an exciting sci-fi story set in a vivid, handcrafted open world full of secrets, puzzles, and perils. Take flight in 9 different ship classes to set out and explore 100 handcrafted areas scattered across multiple star systems. This game is doing the correct thing here. It's releasing in the month of August. Anything having to do with space, anything at all, is going to have to release before Starfield does in September. So hopefully I can get around to playing this game before I get the review copy of Starfield, because after that it is just game over. I'm saying goodbye to my family, my friends, to you guys, and I'm doing nothing but playing that game. They talked about over 40 games at the ID at Xbox showcase, and no, chances are I'm not gonna love every single one of them. In fact, chances are I'm not gonna play a lot of them, and there's gonna be some I play that I'm like, whatever, it's not really my thing. But there's always something that comes out of the ID at Xbox showcase that I eventually end up just latching onto. Sure, I may not love everything they put out, but there's always at least one game where I'm like, this is a banger, and I'm addicted to it. Vampire Survivors. A couple of weeks ago, people were really high on Planet of Lana, but I am like really into Cassette Beast still. I'm like, yes, give me more of this. I love this game. So I'm hoping I get a similar feeling with this new crop of games that's coming out through the ID at Xbox program. And I hope you find that game for yourself as well. That's another thing that I think is cool about Game Pass. It exposes you to these kind of smaller, independently developed games that I probably would have skipped over had they not been on Game Pass, and I'll try them out and be like, oh, this is cool. And a lot of them I ultimately buy. So, hey, that's a win-win for the developers, that's a win for me because I get a really awesome game. So yeah, looking forward to more. Anyways guys, that's all the news I have for today. Thanks again for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready, and I'll see you in the next video.